Also, a little concerning, and I think this would be a great thing for you to break down. I know you've written about it before, but HSBC, I mean, how are we supposed to feel that they're also the custodian for GLD? And been getting a lot of questions. And again, Dave, factor in there's a lot of people who are new to this. So, for people who have not heard concerns about GLD or SLV and are just piling in that and treating that as gold, could you explain, especially for folks who are hearing for the first time, at least some of the risks they should be aware of there?
Well, I mean, if you want to buy gold and silver, why are you buying security? Why are you buying paper? Because what the best case is that you're going to index the movement in the price of gold and silver, right? But when you sell GLD, you don't they don't send you bars of gold. You get dollars in your account, devalued dollars. The dollar is being devalued every single day by the Fed. All fiat currency is being devalued every single day by central banks. So I don't know why you would buy GLD or SLV if you want to own gold. You own gold for wealth preservation. You own gold because it's real money. The thing about GLD, and I went through the prospectus with a fine tooth comb back in 2009, and I wrote a paper. At some point, I'm probably gonna put it up on my blog or something. I gotta take time to edit, re-edit it and look over it. And really, technically, what I need to do is there's been some changes for the worse to the prospectus and the legal language in the prospectus between 2009 and now. And so I need to reread that, and that takes a lot of time. So I got to find the time to do it, and then revise my paper, and then I'll probably put it out there. But I basically piggybacked a paper written by James Turk in 2004 when the S1, the original S1, was filed. And as far back as then, he basically said in so many words that GLD was a fraud. There's no way to verify whether or not they have the gold in there. And again, it gets back to, I think it was 2005, 2006, when Bob Pisani, CNBC made a big production. Oh, we're going to take you inside the vault of GLD, because at that time there was already a lot of noise in cyberspace about GLD being phony, or not all there. I'm not saying it's 100% fraudulent, but and we're going to go inside the GLD vault and show you the gold. And Pisani was directed toward a pallet full of bars, and he picked one up, and the camera zooms in on it and gets the serial number. And someone looked up that serial number and said, that bar is not a GLD bar. So that's the problem with unallocated gold. I mean, a lot of the gold that's in GLD is unallocated, right? So we just saw with Ronan Manley's excellent research, exhaustive research, that that the Bank of England, which is one of the sub-custodians, now there's a whole problem with the sub-custodian relationship. I mean, even the trustee of GLD can't just show up and knock on the door of a sub-custodian who is supposed, in some cases, these sub-custodians have gold that they safe keep for GLD. And in this case, it's the Bank of England, and it's, GLD is borrowing these bars or leasing them, and they're in the Bank of England vault, in an unallocated vault. So they don't even have they don't even have a piece of paper on them that say these are GLD's bars, right? And now here's the kicker: the trustee of GLD, and I forget who it is, World Gold Council maybe, or State Street, I forget. And they can't at any time just go knock on the door, just go knock on the door of the sub-custodian and say, hey man, we're just doing a routine audit. We need to see the bars. They can't do that. They have to give them, I forget how much notice. And as a matter of fact, if I recall from when I wrote the paper, I don't even know if they have the right to go inspect the bars. Yeah. So you don't even know if the bars are there. The same thing with the actual custodian, HSBC. The trustee or a large holder of GLD, who presumably may think down the road, oh, well, it says in the prospectus I can turn in my shares and and get bars. Well, I haven't heard of anyone who's been able to do that besides the authorized or approved participants, which are the bullion banks that supposedly move gold bars in and out of GLD. So a large holder who's thinking, down the road, oh, this would be a great way to source some London bars. He can't go knock on the door of HSBC and say, show me the vault because I've got, $100 million in GLD stock. And I want to make sure the gold's there. They don't have to let him in. In fact, they won't. So, it gets back to people for whatever reason, because it's GLD, it's HSBC, it's official, it's got an SEC stamp of approval on it, that, oh, well, why shouldn't I trust these guys? I'm sure GLD's fine. You're a tinfoil hat conspiracy theorist. Honestly, after I read through that prospectus, I was absolutely flabbergasted. I mean, I could have used that GasX at the time that the SEC actually approved the S1 because there's so many loopholes in there that make it possible that none of the gold's even there, quite frankly. And like I said, I'm sure a lot of it is there and is in a GLD allocated part of the vault, but there's no way all of it is. And we already know that because they had to lease some bars from the Bank of England just to make the appearance that, oh, we are, because questions were coming up. We're hearing about the shortage of bars in London due to refineries shutting down. And every day there's tons of cash going into GLD. And, they're saying, oh, well, we had X amount of tons of gold that are in the vault now. Well, no, the tons of gold aren't in the vault. It's gold deposits. And a gold deposit is nothing.
Yeah.
Gold deposit is air. It's a piece of paper that says, we have gold that's owed to us. Essentially, it's more complicated than that, but that's the simplification of it.
Yeah, and also with some of these banks, it's like when you do business with people who have a reputation for trying to screw you, maybe sometimes you see how they're trying to screw you, maybe sometimes they don't. So hopefully the gold and silver is there. But again, from my experience on the trading floor, I'm sure you've seen
it's not all there. Don't even hope. Hope's not a valid investment strategy.
But even aside from that, with all the shares that go back and forth, there's like a couple basis points being jacked either way. Keep in mind, HSBC, the custodian for GLD, I remember reading quotes that they were the preferred bank of Mexican cartel money launderers. Again, you don't have to take my opinion for that. You can look it up yourself.
HSBC is not the only one who does that. They just got caught.
Yeah.
Or the regulatory officials decided for whatever reason to go after HSBC.
Yeah, and even though I'm still using the free pass for Bloomberg and I've reached my article limit, you could see there if you Google JP Morgan, Metals Desk, a criminal enterprise. So, these are the guys that are holding those funds. So, again, Dave, if you need any gold bars, you can just swing over here.